You are listening to the Long Game Podcast. I'm your host, Sandra Scaiano. If you are only making content for social media, you are missing out. You hear it in the headlines. Is this the end of social media? With Meta changing not only its name, but its entire company focus, and Twitter really shaking things up, people are exploring their options for what's out there. Social media, it is a fickle lover. It can do you right and bring eyes onto you and your brand, but it can also frustrate you and make you second guess everything you are doing. So what are the options for creating a presence if you decide to start waning from social media? For me and my clients, it's what I always build upon: custom brand content. This is some type of long form content, be it blog posts, podcast episodes, resources, or a video show that we do consistently. And yes, everyone knows about this, but do you really? Are you listening? Are you actually doing it? Because if you are not, this episode is going to change your mind. The long game is why you should be creating branded content now. In a world where everyone is doing, it's easy to get lost in a sea of comparison, secret tricks, and promises of overnight success. The long game? That's my approach to business. You gotta show up, you gotta do the work, and there are no quick fixes for long-term success. It takes creativity, it takes strategy, and it takes listening to the voice inside you. I'm a web designer, digital strategist, and energetic thinker, bringing you real-world business-building experiences, conversations with creators who are out there doing it now, and ideas to spark the energy in your own business. And along the way, we're gonna have a little bit of fun as well. So thanks for being here, and let's get to today's episode. Everyone is so unhappy with social media. The amount of time you need to spend working it, all that time and not getting the results you want, the constant changing of what's working, the glitches and the never being able to reach support, to the platforms becoming political spheres. We always have to remember that social media is made to serve the social media companies, not us. Even in the advertising realm, social platforms are really starting to spin as advertisers are pulling back. This in turn is causing massive layoffs in the industry, which affects the end user. And as social media platforms, they always have their own agenda, and it doesn't necessarily line up with ours. So what is there to do? How do we reach customers? How do we let people know who we are and what we do and start to build that conversation with them? All right, first, I just want to say the total death of social media is not upon us, but there is a shift happening, and the shift is and really always has been to play their way, the social media company's way. I think now people are just starting to get over that idea, really, because, you're really only going to get traction with social media right now in two ways. And one is by posting reels and going really hard into it. And two is by paid advertising. And really for this, you need an expert leading your campaign because there are so many nuances. And you need someone who's in there every day and in multiple campaigns and seeing what's happening to be able to make adjustments that lead to success, rather than a DIY route. And because of this shift, I am betting more than ever on custom brand content for myself and my clients. And custom content is some type of long form content, be it blog posts or podcast episodes, resources, or a video show that we do consistently. And that helps move the needle for your audience by sharing your expertise. So I have been saying this for a while now that people are sleeping on SEO. And after I did an adjustment to my own website optimization, and then I support it with content from my podcast, people have been finding me solely based on search. And there is no better feeling than producing your content and having it lead to the right people who become customers. So let's talk about what custom brand content looks like. All right, when working with clients, I like to establish their pillar content with them. And this is long form content that gives space for them to put their expertise out there. And also, it is the starting point where they can repurpose to. Content is not sales pitches and content is not advertising, even though you can have calls to action within it. But brand content is about sharing your expertise as well as sharing your brand stories. So pillar content lives on your website mostly, and it serves an array of purposes. Number one, it creates a conversation with your audience. You provide what the audience needs and they come to you for your expertise or they let you into their inbox. You're able to weave in your stories, brand stories as well as personal stories, so that your audience gets to know you and who you are. And you're also able to provide in your content customized calls to action. The audience may act on your direction, like bettering themselves with your products or services, or just come deeper into your world through various channels that you have set up. They may tell friends and refer you along the way. And this is relationship building. Both parties get to have the ability to participate in the relationship. All right, number two with pillar content, it draws new people to you through search. And this is what so many people are sleeping on. Your content gives you the opportunity to optimize your website more robustly. And this is a huge benefit of creating long form content for your brand because it not only serves your potential customers, but it serves many others, that come to your brand and may not be potential customers, like they are there to listen and learn from you. And that larger audience, they help to drive the sales of your customers, right? Not everyone who reads and listens or watches will become a customer, and that's totally fine. And your content work is about sharing what you know and what you do with your unique spin to it. All right, number three in the pillar content and what it can do for you is that it makes social media easier as you've got something to repurpose. So when you start with the long form content, it's easy to repurpose into the short form. And depending on your systems or methods, you can get multiple pieces of short form content from one pillar content piece. And, this keeps you talking about the same message during this time period. And it also promotes the long form content because that short piece, it's supporting and linking back to the whole, which is on your website. And we want people clicking through to our website, right? This is the hub of our businesses online. So repurposing, it's not only for social media. You can repurpose to email or you can repurpose your newsletter to a blog post. And there's so many different ways to maneuver the content once you are making it. All right. And number four, one of the most important items when it comes to creating pillar content in this day and age is that it's content that you completely own and control. It's on your website. You can enable comments or turn them off. It's always available or can be something that, you need to give special access to. You can add as many links and as many calls to action as you like. You can curse. You can tell jokes without being flagged by bots. You can get political. Whatever your opinions are about anything, you can say it. And you can completely be yourself in the content that you house on your website. All right. So you've got some reasons why to make this content right now. And here's the thing. No matter what happens with social, you are moving in a direction of taking control of things if you start. So if you start now making some form of long form content for your website and doing it consistently, you are building a foundation of positioning yourself, your website, your emails as a place to get information, to build community, to make sales. You give your audience a reason for coming to you and your website. With social media, we give them a reason to see us as part of this social ecosystem that they can easily scroll by as part of their mindless session. Now, I get it. There are tons of eyeballs on social media platforms, and they do bring traffic. And there are other platforms to consider when making content besides the Metas and the Twitters of the world. But when I look at my own Google Analytics, I see that I've got very strong referral traffic from Facebook. which makes sense. I've really built it up. I'm engaged there and I participate in groups there, and this is working for me. But if something happened, like my account was blocked or the platform sold to the richest man in the world and he made some drastic changes, I'd still have my search juice and a place for my voice with a community of people who are already following to listen. It's the not all the eggs in one basket approach, and it gives me the autonomy to do as I wish. So you may have thought about it. Now's the time to take the steps to get started. Start to build your foundation now. And I'm going to be talking more about this here in the podcast so that you can learn strategies and ways to think about creating your content marketing and ways to promote it and push it further out there. So be a little freer and build your empire with content. All right, everyone, have a great week. Thanks for joining me today. You can access more information, links mentioned in this episode, and the show notes at thelonggamepodcast.net. If today's show connected with you in some way, please share it with your friends or hop on and leave a review. Both of these make a really big difference. All right, until next time, keep playing the long game.